Hi guys, this is another reading, and this reading is going to be on how Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj feel about each other. And then also I want to see how Scooter Braun really feels about Nicki Minaj, because we got to get down to the root of the reason why he doesn't like her and the reason why he took her off that record with Doja Cat and Ariana Grande, which was replaced by Megan. So I think it's called the 34 plus 35 remix that he took her off of. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. This reading is strictly for entertainment purposes only, okay? So let's start off with Taylor Swift. How does Taylor Swift feel about Nicki Minaj? Taylor Swift. Okay, so um, Taylor feels like, Nicki is very successful in her craft. Okay, the Ten of Pentacles just talks about success. Also can be talking about mentorship. Okay, we also have Seven of Pentacles in reverse. It talks about short term um, reward. Okay, so she feels like Nikki's, when she was on top of her game, like when she was the number one female rapper, it kind of was short lived. She feels like Nikki wasn't really fully prepared for basically not really being on top. So this is Taylor's perception. So the Seven of Pentacles, that talks about short-term rewards. So that talks about being on top. Then things start to dwindle down, or getting a lot of money and then either losing the money or not being able to capitalize off of it. So she feels like Nicki was on top, even though Nicki was on top of her game for the past 10 years. She feels like when Nicki was at her peak, it was kind of short term, okay, for whatever reason. We also have the Seven of Swords. Does feel like Nicki is a little sneaky. She feels like Nicki does things behind the scenes, very underhanded for whatever reason, but she does think that Nicki is talented, okay? And then Eight of Cups in reverse, it talks about walking away from a bad situation. So so Taylor Swift feels like Nicki eventually will walk away from music. She feels like the time is about to come. She probably knows more information because she's in the industry, so she probably knows a lot, and she's around those executives. She's had issues with Scooter Braun also, as we all know, so she probably knows that Nicki's probably gonna walk away from the music business. She feels like eventually she will walk away. She does feel like Nicki is sneaky. The Seven of Swords popped up. That's just her perception, and she feels like you know her when she was in her peak. I think her peak was really like 2014, 2013, when she hit her peak. Like that was the highest. It was short term because right after that she got with Meek, and then it was kind of downhill from there. So that's why I believe she feels like it was short lived or short term, because it's not like things didn't transpire after 2014 to 2015, 2016. Okay, also we have the Ace of Swords. This talks about opportunities being presented to her. So it looks like in the past Taylor Swift had talked to Nicki about doing a collaboration, but it never came into fruition. Okay, they also, I think they performed together, correct? I don't know if that was an actual song, but I remember them performing together. It looks like Taylor had reached out to her again to do another song or something of that sort, but it didn't come into fruition. Okay, but that's just how Taylor views Nicki. She does view her as talented. Okay, so let's see. Will Taylor and Nicki collaborate in the future? Will Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj collaborate in the future? Because I know you guys want to know that. I see that they would want to collaborate with each other because they do have a lot in common. The Three of Cups just talks about gossip or people behind the scenes, so it looks like they have talked about it. I think that it's something that could be possible, honestly. The Ace of Wands is here. This talks about extending the olive branch, opportunities being presented. And the Sun card talks about being hopeful. So I do see that Taylor Swift would be open to it. She's not really as scared of certain things happening to her because the worst already happened with the whole Scooter Braun incident of her basically her masters being sold behind her back, as she put it. So she doesn't really care about the backlash or anything because she's already went through what she went through with the whole Kanye situation, the Scooter Braun situation, Justin Bieber, taking shots. So she's already been through all the public scrutiny. So she's not really scared of the backlash or people saying certain things behind the scenes. Three of Pentacles in reverse. A lot of people are not going to be happy about this collaboration, especially people on Taylor's team because she appeals to the country audience and the pop audience. Okay, so it's not just just the pop, and she doesn't really appeal to really urban people like that. There's a few urban markets that do support Taylor, but she's really pop and country. I do see that it could be a possibility. But the only thing is, a lot of people are not going to be happy about it, okay? She can expect some issues, okay? But she's not really scared. She's already had everything to happen to her. It has already happened, so she doesn't really care. Anyway, let's see. How does Nicki Minaj feel about Taylor? How does Nicki Minaj feel about Taylor Swift? This is actually kind of interesting. Okay, so the Devil card, this talks about sexual attachment. Feels like Taylor Swift kind of attaches herself to men too much, okay? Attaches herself to men or always wants to kind of be, I would say, in a public relationship. When Taylor had that moment of she was always with kind of a celebrity like Jake Gyllenhaal and the guy from what's that movie? I forgot. But Taylor Swift been around the block. Let's just be honest. She's been around the block, okay? So that's just how Nikki feels, okay? The This card talks about there's two cards. Okay, so the Hierophant card talks about somebody challenging the status quo. So she does view someone like Taylor, like a leader, somebody that challenges the status quo, was able to go up against somebody like Scooter Braun, Kanye, and Justin Bieber, and not really receive any backlash. She still had her fans with her. So she does view her as a leader in that sense. Okay, the Five of Wands, they had their conflict behind the scenes. I obviously we all know what happened when she said, she inserted herself in something that Nicki Minaj said in the magazine, I believe, a few years ago. So there was conflict behind the scenes. The Moon card, this talks about someone that has anxiety or confusion in their heart, and she does feel like sometimes Taylor does insert herself in drama. She does feel like Taylor does insert herself in drama sometimes. The Nine of Wands, this talks about just watching someone from afar. So Nikki does watch the way Taylor move, and she actually is inspired by her, how she's able to kind of go up against these executives and Scooter Braun and not being able to receive any backlash. Okay, but she does feel like she attaches herself in the past to certain men in the industry, or was always in a celebrity type of relationship. Okay, but they could work together in the future. Taylor not really scared. She's been in the game since what, 2008. So her and Nicki been in the game the same amount of time. So it really wouldn't really hurt them that much. Anyway, so let's go on to Scooter Braun, okay? What is Scooter Braun's issue with Nicki Minaj? What is Scooter Braun's issue with Nicki Minaj? Okay, these cards wanted to pop out. Okay. What is Scooter Braun's issue with Nicki Minaj? Okay. So we have the King of Wands. Scooter's actually very mean to Nicki. This talks about somebody that's kind of very mean or cold towards someone, and Scooter's very cold towards Nicki. Okay. We also have the Hierophant card again popping up, and this talks about someone kind of challenging the status quo. He feels like Nicki always has to go against the grain or try to be the odd one out, okay? You know, all the other female rappers have help writing their lyrics or bars, but Nicki, she wants to write her bars by herself. All the other female rappers, you know, they don't really care about stuff like that, or all the other female rappers don't really charge a lot for their verses, but Nicki, allegedly she charges 500K or more. So he feels like she kind of is big headed or always has to go against the grain. That's his perception of her, okay? The Two of Cups, he has a close knit relationship with Ariana Grande. They're very much in harmony with certain things. And he's like kind of protective of Ariana Grande because he makes a lot of money off of her. So he doesn't really want Ariana Grande to get tied up in what Nicki Minaj has going on in the industry. He's being protective of her, okay? We also have the Sun card. This talks about someone being hopeless. So Nicki kind of feels like Scooter interfered in her relationship with Ariana Grande. So that's how Nicki feels, like somebody that kind of interfered themselves. She feels kind of hopeless in trying to mend certain things because even though the personal side of the relationship is good, you know, the business side of things are not good, and that's never going to be mended. You know, the verse was probably done, and she got taken off the verse because Doja Cat already told people that Nicki Minaj was on the remix. And then, you know, her verse was taken off. So Nicki still feels some type of way about that. The business side of things is going to be never going to be mended, okay? The personal side, everything is good, but business, no. The Eight of Wands is here, okay? This talks about someone having freedom. So it looks like Scooter feels like Nicki's team allows her to kind of do whatever she wants, and she has too much freedom. That's his opinion of her, okay? The Three of Cups, he does pay attention to the gossip. The Three of Cups, it talks about gossip energy. So he does pay attention to the gossip and what people say about Nicki in the public and behind the scenes, which kind of promoted or is the reason why he is so cold towards Nicki. You know, when Tiffany Haddish said, "Oh, she's a mean person," you know, he doesn't like that she charges too much for her features. He doesn't like that you know, she has a lot of freedom and she's able to be so outspoken. He doesn't like that, and he feels like she rubbed too many people behind the scenes, too many executives behind the scenes the wrong way, and he's kind of taking their side. It doesn't look like Nicki really did anything to Scooter per se. He just thinks that she's too cocky. That's the energy I'm getting. Someone that's too cocky, you know, too full of herself. He doesn't like that. He wants her to be more humble. That's his issue with Nicki, okay? He feels like she charges too much for certain features because, you know, she did that feature with Justin Bieber and they were supposed to do another song, and he paid a lot of money for that feature, or the label paid a lot of money for that feature. Okay? So how does Nicki feel about Scooter Braun? Oh, this card popped up again. How does Nicki feel about Scooter Braun? Okay, so we have the Eight of Swords. This talks about someone feeling trapped. She really wants to speak out against Scooter Braun, but she knows she really can't. She doesn't have that freedom like Taylor Swift does. So she kind of feels, trapped between, a rock and a hard place. Do not expect Nicki to really talk about this situation in the documentary, especially since that's Ariana Grande's manager. Okay, so she does feel trapped. Nine of Cups feels like he interfered, like I said before, was interfering in her relationship with Ariana Grande, which caused a stagnation. We also have the Six of Cups in reverse. This talks about someone being ungrateful. She feels like Scooter Braun is ungrateful for all she has done for his artists. I think he also manages Kanye West too. That's what I was told. He also manages Kanye West, and she's worked with Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and Kanye West. So she kind of feels like, you're ungrateful because I gave, Ariana Grande and Kanye West free features. Because she does free features for Ariana Grande. Justin Bieber is the only person she charged, okay? And that was years ago. Ace of Cups in reverse. This talks about somebody kind of stopping opportunities. So she feels like Scooter Braun is stopping, from her having an opportunity to get a number one with Ariana Grande, who is, her close friend in the industry, stopping her from, getting a number one with Justin Bieber. So the only person he can't really stop her from collaborating with is Kanye, because, Kanye does his own thing, but Kanye self-sabotages anyway, because where's New Body? Okay? That was an instant top 10 record. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. This reading was strictly for entertainment purposes only, and I hope you have a great day.